Welcome back to a new episode of The Urban Builder. I'm your contractor, Jamal Robinson Homes. In today's episode, we're going to just walk through the lumber. I'm going to demonstrate some of the applications of the lumber. We've started framing over here at the lake house that we've been doing. So we got the walls going up. So we just want to kind of walk you through some of the application of the joist system, why we're using certain woods, certain engineer wood for certain applications. We're just gonna kind of walk you through what we're doing, why we're doing it today. So if you see here, we got a pile of wood here, various sizes. We got our 2x10s, which is used for our floor joists. Over here, we got some 2x6s. So per code, all your exterior wall framing has to be done with 2x6s. Your interior walls are framed with 2x4s. So interior walls, meaning that you got a bathroom, closet wall, those are interior rooms, walls. They're framed with 2x4, but everything exterior is always framed with a 2x6. Those are your load bearing, they're stronger for strength. We got 2x10s. I showed you before, these are 2x10, they're 16 feet in length, 10 inches width, 2 inches of thickness. Those are my glasses here. So those are used to support the floor. And various sizes, they can go up in size depending on the span. The longer the span, the width goes up to support the load. But we're gonna show you our alternative that we use when we got open spaces in the basements. These actual 2x10s are actually supported by steel beams. And under the steel beams, a steel column. That's adjustable column. But you get certain situations where you want an open concept. You want an open floor or open basement. You don't want any columns obstructing, you just want wide open space. And in that situation, we have over here what these are called TJIs. And what TJIs are, it's an engineered lumber and they're joists. And what you see here, you have a top plate, a bottom plate, engineered plywood in the middle. These come in different widths and thicknesses, but they're made for long spans. If you see here, we have some over there like really long. I think that's about an 18-footer over there. Very strong and carry multiple load, but they're really designed for really long span wood. We don't want to have any columns or any beams up under it. So that's what we use. We'll show you how those applications are put together when we get down to the basement area. This wood here is what are called our header wood. These are 2x12s. A header, and what we'll display in our framing is when you have any openings, windows, doors. At the top of that window, at the top of that door, it's called a header. And those headers basically supports the load above it all the way around the house. So all of your window at the tops, the headers are all the same height all the way around the house. And that distributes an even load around the entire home. So that wood there is for all your header wood. We have what's called some LVLs. What LVL means, laminated veneer lumber. And what it is, it's a pancake of engineered plywood pressed together. And what we use these for is also like your TJIs for long spans. So sometimes we use these, we have beams, or if you're supporting a wall and you're building above it, you put the LVLs in place. We got these here today. We got a row of windows. So when we get further into our framing, we got a wall that has about 10 windows on it going all the way across. So we got LVLs as our headers that we're gonna use to support that load above the windows all the way around. This strengthens that wall. So you'll see those in a couple more episodes. We get down to more of the framing episodes. Dave just kind of want to pinpoint the lumber, what we're using, why we're using it, and then show you a few applications of the lumber actually being used once we get into the basement space. I'm about to ask you, are you still filming this or? So now we're down here in the basement space, and as I was telling you before, just kind of wanted to show you the application of the actual different lumber that we pointed out when we were up top. actually being used down here in the basement space. So where we're standing in, we're in the basement. This basement actually has a bedroom, full bathroom down here. So right now we're in the actual bedroom space. This is where the actual bedroom is gonna be. You see that pipes coming out of the ground there? That's for the actual bathroom, toilet, sink, shower. It actually has 2 sinks. That's a double sink. And this little small area here there's gonna be like a little sitting area in the bedroom. So it's like a little sitting area in the bedroom space here. And over to my left is where the actual stairs that come out of the basement level to the first floor level and then continues up to the second floor level of the house. So we haven't constructed the stairs yet because as you see, we haven't poured the concrete yet for the basement floor. We'll be doing that later this week. We got a big mobile heater unit coming in, commercial heater to kind of heat this up for 2 days. Can't pour concrete on a frozen surface. So we're gonna heat this up for 2 days and then we'll heat it up for 2 days after we pour the actual concrete. But again, I wanted to show you the different wood applications. So as you see here, we have our steel beam, which is actually supported by a 4-inch steel adjustable column. And on top of that steel beam, we have those 2x10s, floor joists. So as I was explaining upstairs before, the 2x10 with the floor joists, you only can go so far with them without having to go size up in the wood. And the bigger the wood, the more expensive it gets. So we got 2x10x16s. And as you see, they rest on this column here, on this beam here. And then we start another set. We pancake on the side, or sister. Some people call it pancaking. Some people call it sistering. So we sister to continue the distance to go across. You can't run a 2x10 span all the way across here. The wood's it's just the width of the wood's not thick enough. But what I was explaining to you, we have those TJIs. So those TJIs are made for long spans, no support needed. And that's what we have over here. So this is the actual basement room space. We have a window framed in over there. We got it closed off because, again, we're in the winter months up here in Ohio, and this house sits on the lake. But these are your TJIs. And you see they can run this long span here. This actual span is about 18 feet. So these were 18 footers, and they go from wall to wall. No beam needed, no columns needed. So this is a wide open space, uninterrupted. And this is kind of what you want when you want an open concept. These are the manufactured lumber you have to use for this type of concept. And as you look around, they're just wide open. Look farther in that crawl space area, we have a beam there. We have a wood column there. They haven't installed the steel columns yet, but we have regular 2x10x6 sitting on that because of that span all the way across. So you actually see how that span actually transitions from traditional 2x10s to your TJIs. But we're showing in 2 different applications, one with the column in the beam, one without. And these are the reasons why. I pointed out that we had some LVL lumber, which we're using it for our header wood. We have this wide open where these concrete steps are gonna come out of this bedroom space down to the lower level. We have an LVL we're using for this open space header up here. This actual opening is about a 6-foot opening. So we got LVLs. There's actually 3 LVLs pancake together for that native support. This wall right here is what you consider a load-bearing wall. Load-bearing wall, all your exterior walls are always load-bearing. And depending on where your roof trusses are sitting at, you have a load-bearing wall. So this wall here was a load-bearing, but since we cut an opening in this wall, we're supporting with LVL to continue the load-bearing load across this entire wall. So there's no weaknesses in this wall, no voids in it. You got those LVLs to support. if you notice here, so on this wall, we have an LVL application here on this load-bearing wall. And the reason we have this LVL here is because our stairs, which with this ladder is gonna come up and they're gonna attach to that wall. So that's creating an extra load on that wall. So we attach it with an LVL for extra strength to carry the load across this wall, which ties into a masonry wall. This is actually a walkout basement. So part of it was masonry, the rest of it was stick framing. We have a window here on this load-bearing wall. And again, since this is a load-bearing wall, we cut an opening in this wall. We have LVLs there to support the load, to continue that load straight across this wall. So whenever you have an opening in a load-bearing wall, you want to use some good LVLs, especially if it's a big window. So we got LVLs up there. Just the extra protection. We know those LVLs will not give. Continues a good, strong wall all the way across. Ties into masonry. And if you see, we have a masonry, we have a big window, big picture window here, actually in this masonry wall here. And again, we have the LVLs up there just to add that extra strength and can carry that load straight across the wall when there's an opening. Just, you want to use the right material for the right application. You're building a home, it's a forever home, it's a strong home. So these are the different applications, and this is why we're using it. As you can see here. And so we just want to kind of give you a good shot, show you the different wood that we're using, why we're using that wood, and the different applications and how you're using that wood. So our next episode, we'll go into framing. We got walls going up. We got a lot of windows in this house. Again, it's a lakefront house, so you want to take advantage of the views of the lake. The house has a lot of windows. So you're going to see a lot of these LVLs on the second floor walls, first floor walls. We'll be able to get into that application. So please stay tuned. If you like this, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications of the next episode that's coming. Thank you for tuning in to The Urban Builder.